All right, Buff Nation, what's going on? We're back from our second bye week. We got 2 games left. Julian Lewis is finally the starter. So he got his first start last week against West Virginia, and now he gets his first home start against the Arizona State Sun Devils. Um, Russ, I'm excited to be talking and previewing about this game with you. I think it could go a long way in helping us just finish the season strong, help to sell the program to recruits here in the future. And man, I'm really excited for this game. I think Julian Lewis gives us a chance to win, man.
Yeah, I think that's the key. I mean, that is the key. He is going to give us a chance to win each week. And not only that, but I think he just gives us a better chance overall as far as the rest of the team. You hear what they've been saying, this week, last week when they've been interviewed, when they've been talked about. You can just tell that they're just it seems like everybody's just more energized. And I mean, the true fans out there, I think they're energized as well. I'm excited to get to see him to go 2 weeks, get a bye week. Word on the street from Coach Prime is that Julian Lewis has worked his butt off this bye week, prepping for this game. And Dave, I mean, things are kind of falling in line. Arizona State's got a little bit of distractions this week, having to go to Boulder now as well. Like, I don't know. I think we have a really good chance. I think things are falling our way with what could possibly happen with this game.
Hey, listen, man. We saw West Virginia go and beat Houston on the road. Anything can happen, man, in the Big 12 as long as you bring it. So if we're ultimately able to just kind of limit our penalties and mistakes, we should be in position to win the game. Now, that's a huge caveat because for most games we haven't been able to. But, man, you're right. Arizona State, they got some things that we'll see if it brings them together or if it causes a splintering, man. I guess a report came out, was it today or yesterday, about Sam
Yesterday.
Levitt looking to hop in the portal. Dude, I hate that for the Sun Devils, man. But what are your thoughts on those things?
I mean, it's that time of the year, Dave. And I mean, I will say this: a lot of people want to, make a fuss about this or that. I truly think that what we've seen in the last 2 weeks, Jordan Seaton, Julian Lewis, Omarion Miller, 3 guys that, get brought up plenty by people saying that they're not coming back. It's pretty sure they're coming back. I mean, there is sign after sign after sign. There's no rumors coming out. On top of that, you're seeing a lot of signs that are showing they're coming back. They're wanting to come back and right this ship. So I absolutely love to see that, Dave. And yeah, Arizona State's dealing with that. They're also dealing with, the rumors out there of Kenny Dillingham potentially being up for a bigger coaching job. There's a lot of stuff when it comes to that. So, things are definitely trending in the direction that, Colorado has a very, very good chance of winning this game. Not guaranteed by any thought or any mind, but I feel good about this one, Dave. I think we could get, and for whatever reason, I mean, Arizona State is looking like they're ranked now 25th in the country. Could we get another ranked victory under Coach Prime's belt? Here to end the season? How would that make people feel?
Man, that would be fantastic. It would be incredible, and especially doing it against, man, we got some former players, man, coming in here for revenge. Their 2 most productive weapons catching the ball. Of course, we all know Jordan Tyson, and leading the team in receiving. I think he's trending to play this week.
Yep.
And a tight end that I wish we had convinced to stick around, but we couldn't do it. Shimon Mateer, man, has gone on to have himself a nice little career at Arizona State. Our CU defense right now is giving up like 30 points a game. And Jeff Sims, man, he's playing like maybe some of the best ball of his career working with Kenny Dillingham. I'll read off his stat line right now for the season. Let's see. He's got 56 completions on 55.4%, which is pretty decent for him. 566 yards, 5 touchdowns, throwing 1 interception, and has 411 yards on the ground and 2 rushing touchdowns. I mean, man, we're getting a better version of him than what we saw maybe 3 years ago against Nebraska. So, yeah, this might have to be one in which you got to play. You got to keep up.
Yeah,
but
no.
Hey, with Julian Lewis, you might be able to.
We have a chance to keep up, Dave. We have a chance to keep up. That's the key. I get it. People in the chat, I talked about this on Monday, saying how we're not going to be able to stop a cold against Arizona State. That's not going to win us the game. I don't think it's going to win us the game either way. I think what's going to win us the game is if Julian Lewis can go blow for blow with Arizona State against their defense. They're going to bring a lot against him. But as we saw, I thought West Virginia brought a lot, and Colorado did well to adapt to it. I'm hoping, Dave, that the extra week brings back Jordan Seaton. I hope that we have a better offensive line this week for Julian Lewis. If we do that, I think what you're going to see is an opposite of what we've seen this season with the Buffs. It's not going to be a run to pass the ball. It's going to be like last week where it's pass to run the ball, where the passing game is going to open up the running game a little bit more like it did in the second half of West Virginia. We finally saw the run game start to get going, and we just saw overall the offense as that game went on become more and more productive. 63% completion for Julian Lewis, 300 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. That is a good stat line. I don't care who you are. I've heard from way too many people that somehow seem to think that Julian Lewis played a horrible game against West Virginia. If that's a horrible game, I will take that all the time. What's a good game going to be? Are we talking 400 yards, 4 touchdowns, no intercept? Like, what else more do you want out of him stat-wise? But I'm really excited to see what he has going down. And if the defense can do just enough, Dave, if they can get a couple of stops, they don't have to be perfect. They're probably going to give up plenty of running yards like they have all season long. I would just love to see, a couple of good stops here and there. And if Julian Lewis can do it, then, I truly think that Colorado's going to have a chance being at home, being off the bye week with Julian Lewis getting that chance. A lot of the guys, Dave, did not go home. We did not see posts from players, all over the country or flying back home or whatnot. I feel like a majority of the guys that want to right this ship, that want to be a part of the solution, stuck around and said, I'm going to be a part of the solution.
Dude, I love that. Nobody coming back into Boulder late. So hopefully the energy's changed now again with Julian as the starter. And yeah, if his performance against West Virginia, his first start ever on the road too, is that, who knows what he could be doing at home this week. And we got to remember, man, Brett Bartolone calling plays. Maybe he want to be my first choice to take over as offensive coordinator for this team moving forward. But this is his audition, man. And you got to assume that he took this bye week very seriously, that, hey, having 2 weeks to prepare for Arizona State, who your quarterback is going to be. Hopefully we come out here and see an offense that makes sense. Jordan Seaton, like you said, hopefully we see him in there. I know we're doing this a little bit earlier than usual this week and next week, by the way, guys. But so we don't know exactly who else is going to be trending to play or how many out players that we have right now. Is there anybody else that you have any idea that we might see that we didn't see last game?
Not yet. I mean, we'll have to wait until tonight, unfortunately, with us doing this a little bit earlier. We won't be on when the first injury report drops. I'll be very interested to see what that looks like with 2 weeks left. Who's on there, who's back. Jordan Seaton, though, is the main one that I want to see be able to return. Mm-hmm. And then the rumors are in practice, Dave, this week. Corbin Leisure, seeing time with Julian Lewis. Yes. Could we see a 2 tight end game with Zach Atkins and Corbin Leisure in this final game? And also Chauncey Gooden getting some time at guard with Julian Lewis as well in practice, which is what I love to see. Can we get some of the younger guys some playing time to see what they have? I would love to win these last 2 games. Absolutely. You play to win the games, but I also want to see what we get out of some players. Maybe we see a little bit of Chauncey Gooden. Maybe we see some more Quinnell Farrakhan this week. Maybe we see Corbin Leisure get some throws, especially, you know, we can talk about it, Dave, and what's going on with the recruiting, but losing Gavin Mueller officially to Miami. On the other side of the ball, you know, maybe, hey, Mantrez Walker's been playing some special teams. Maybe throw him into the backfield at linebacker just to see what he can do. You never know. They might surprise you, but I'd be excited to see what that looks like as well this week. I'm really excited to see what happens there.
Yeah, I want to see what Cardi Smith looks like too, man. I don't know if we'll see him in the game. Mantrez Walker, who was the linebacker that spoke a little bit about him? I saw like a quote today on Twitter when I was scrolling through. I'm trying to remember who's talking about him.
That one.
Anyways, oh well. Maybe we see some Mantrez Walker because we're gonna have new linebackers next year. No doubt about it. So let's see what these young kids can do. Yeah, man, like there's still a lot of promise here. You want your like highly regarded recruits to just play well, man. You want the offense to look, you know, functioning like a real offense, and you want to see those big plays. If Omarion and Juju and some of those guys like are on it, along with Julian Lewis, man, you're gonna have a chance to win this game. That's how I feel about it. So, yeah, we'll see. Arizona State's really good at stopping the run, and that's where things get a little tricky. I think they're number 2 in the conference in rush yards allowed per game. So this is going to be a great test early on. I don't think we're as much as I would love for us to try and establish the run. Like you said, you probably use the pass to set up the run a little bit more in this scenario coming into the game. And we're kind of throwing Julian to the fire on this, man. Like, it's probably not going to look perfect, but I mean, he made some wow throws against that Mountaineers defense, and
yes,
that's all I really want to see is just those wow throws. And hey, maybe we could end up on the right side of the scoreboard at the end of the game.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm most looking forward to. Julian Lewis will give you a chance. The receivers, I think, are juiced because they know they're going to get to see the ball more in positions to succeed. They're going to see the ball be pushed down the field. They're going to, you know, get those accurate throws on time over the middle. I mean, Dave, we saw that time and time again against West Virginia. Yeah. Julian Lewis making the big time throws. And whatever you want to say about Caden Salter and what he accomplished this year, he was not like, even the throws he made, they were late. You know, the guys were just wide open at times that he hit them. So to think that, you know, Caden Salter was hitting them on time, accurately, in the right spots to set them up, that wasn't necessarily the case. We saw that last week against West Virginia for the first time this season. And that's who Julian Lewis is. That's why we recruited him. That's why he was one of the most sought after recruits in the entire country. Guys, he is a big time thrower. And the fact that he stuck around again shows that leadership ability for him on this team and what he's trying to do here. Absolutely love seeing that.
I love this, dude. Big 12 champs, not 26, 27. I can buy it, but who knows, man? Who knows? Maybe we'll hit right on the transfer portal this next year and anything can happen. But I don't know. I'm kind of hopping all over the place right now, Russ. But before I forget, I wanted to wish Peggy a happy 101st birthday.
Please live to 102, Peggy. Please.
Peggy, we need you to live beyond that. We need a bowl win for you. We need a national championship for you, a Big 12 championship, all that sort of stuff. But yeah, congratulations on turning 101 years old. I'm sure they're going to have a great, like video tribute to her and everything like that at the game on Saturday. That's going to be nice. You want to talk about AD? Do you got any thoughts on AD right now? What you think? You know, Rick George, I guess this was in the works for a while. Retiring at the end of the academic year. Thoughts on Rick George? Thoughts on where we go from here?
You know, I'm kind of excited for this whole process. I'm excited for a lot of change. I mean, I think this program can use some change. And I think you could go out there and get an AD that really benefits football first and foremost. And will benefit the rest of the program. The guy that I'm looking at right now that's being tossed around a lot is the CEO of the Miami Dolphins. I think he would be my number one candidate right now. I think he brings a lot to the table, and obviously then the connections to Colorado being an alumni, I think is a huge, huge get. I think that's who we're looking at right now. I know a lot of people threw out Jeremy Bloom as a potential. Jeremy Bloom seemingly shut that down pretty quickly by throwing out his own candidates, almost like I'm flattered, but here's who Colorado should be looking at. And one of those names was, again, the same name that's been popped around by other people, the CEO for the Miami Dolphins. Whether or not that person would want to, do that, that'd be great. Also, Optimist Dion did not get the AD fired. Where are you saying Rick George got fired? Now we're just throwing out random stuff there. Like literally this was planned before even Coach Prime came in. Rick George said that he was not planning to retire until the football program was in better hands. That was before he hired Coach Prime. Okay? This was literally in the works for the last, what, Dave, like 5 years, 6 years that, Rick George was looking to transition out of his position, retire, move and step back. And now he's planning to do that. To me, that tells you that he's actually happy where things are. He even came out and said that Coach Prime is not even close to being on the hot seat, for those of you that wanted to throw that out there. And I agree with him because of what happened this offseason. With him going through his health scare, with all that stuff, I absolutely give a pass to Coach Prime in a way. Now, the question is, what can he do this offseason? What can he do to make changes to this team and actually, move forward? I think there's going to be a lot of changes based on, again, what Coach Prime is actually saying. Because at his press conference this week, some of the things that he had to say, Dave, were just a little bit eye-opening. And I think they really tell us where this program not only is, but where it's heading for anybody that wants to come in and be a troll and say that, Coach Prime's in a bad position, blah, 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 whatever you want to say. I think things are going to be much happier.
Let's talk about those things really quick. Tom Garfinkel, CEO of the Miami Dolphins. He's been in pro sports for quite a while. Also got his MBA from University of Michigan as well. How about that? So it seems like there's a lot of momentum around him right now. Can we pay him more than what the CEO of the Miami Dolphins makes? I got no idea. But I do like the idea of having the next athletic director be a little bit more business minded. Fundraising is going to be crucial in this next era as CU's athletic director. So let's have somebody that can go and do that. But let's talk about Coach Prime, man. He had a lot to say, and are we starting to see, some of those, actions behind those words start to play out a little bit? Hit us with it, Russ.
Well, obviously the big rumor going on right now is that Marshall Faulk has interviewed for a head coaching job in the SWAC, with plenty of rumors saying that he's going to be accepting that position. You know what that tells me, Dave? I think we're going to see a pretty big cleaning of the house, and that's Coach Prime, pushing him out the door and saying, hey, go do that. I think that's going to be best for you, because this is what everybody's wanted. They want us to bring in an OC and a DC, or allow Livingston to bring in their own guys, allow them to formulate their staffs for what they see. Perhaps we're seeing the end of, just Coach Prime using his friends and that being it. That could be what we're seeing. He said it himself last week in his press conference. Okay. He's like, you've got the right man. I promise you do. And I'm going to prove that to you. Just give me an opportunity, a little bit more time, and I'm going to prove that to all of you. That was Coach Prime's words. He also talked about how, he talked about it on the coaches show. He talked about it in multiple press conferences, that the things that they did last year were not the right moves. And I wanted to bring this up, Dave, because this just came to light not too long ago, about this afternoon. But Chris Vanini brought up an article, interesting comments that he got from a Big 12 GM ahead of the transfer portal in regards to Colorado. And this is one that we've talked about, you and I. Chat talks about it frequently. We get a little bit of hate for it sometimes, but it's absolutely true. This is what Matt McChesney talked to me about in the interview with him as well. If you take a look at a lot of the guys that Colorado brought in, there wasn't a ton of production. They took a bunch of power four big names, big star guys, and they put them in there with the expectation they were going to have all of a sudden big jumps, and they just didn't. We say it all the time at our school. If a player can't develop at a place like Alabama or Georgia, where they have every resource available to them, why are they going to come here to our school and be any better or any different? And it's absolutely true. I am sick of people who are like, don't like the JUCO transfers, don't like the G5 transfers. I hear that all the time in the past during the portal seasons. And yet here's a year that they grab some guys from SEC Big Ten schools who do absolutely nothing. And people wonder why that's not a good plan. Okay. You want to get guys who are hungry. You want to get guys who are ready to take that next step, who have proven at the current level that they're at, that they are ready to make that next step, versus a guy who has failed and crashed out at an SEC or Big Ten school. You want to get guys who are hungry to get to go to that next level, and that's who needs to be. And right now, Dave, they're starting to. There's been a lot of offers I've seen in the last 2 weeks from JUCO guys that are making a move to that next level. People may not like it. They're not flashy. Those names aren't going to be flashy. They're probably not even going to have stars associated with their name on the 24/7 Rivals website. But those are the type of guys you need to actually bring in who are hungry to prove it and make that move at the next level.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, man. I just think it's funny, man. People want to complain about everything, man. They don't want the JUCO guys. They don't want the Power 4 transfers. They don't want the high school guys. So, yeah, they don't want the G5 guys. So how the hell you build a team with 100 guys? I don't really know. But I'd rather take shots right now on what we have been able to do well, which is actually develop young talent. Shown that we can develop young talent. And, hey, maybe if we have a Big 12, quarterback of the year type of guy here in the future with Julian Lewis, maybe we can put together another really impressive transfer portal class like we did with Shador and Travis's last year. But unless we have that, man, start Bible analogy, build the house on the rock, right? Not the sand, not the quicksand, not the quick, easy answers. So yeah, I agree with Northside, man. I like seeing what we've been doing with the JUCO portal right now. That's been nice to see. And again, it's nice to bring in some guys, man, that have just had to scratch and claw for everything right now, man. And sometimes we might swing too far to the pendulum, to the other side of the pendulum with things. But I think that very clearly, man, we brought in a lot of transfers here that just assumed that they were going to be doing X, Y, and Z. And let's change the energy a little bit with some more JUCO guys.
And not even just that, Dave, but also money-wise. Those guys are going to be cheaper than the SEC Big Ten transfers, high star guys that are, flashing on those websites. They're going to be the ones requesting the most money. And they're not always going to pan out. Like, who's going to pan out this transfer, okay? But, we're already seeing it, Dave. This portal is going to be popping, okay? I get it, guys. Listen to me right now. I'm talking to everybody in the chat right now. We're going to talk some people off a ledge just for a little bit. You might not talk everybody off, but I know for some of you fans in there right now, okay? The high school recruiting class, unfortunately, is what it is right now, okay? It's a mistake. It's an issue. I think a lot of that, again, was how much time Coach Prime had to miss from being a part of that during the you guys got to realize that April to July are the biggest high school recruiting months that you have. Am I right, Dave? That's when Julian Lewis came on visits. That's when London Merritt and Alex McPherson came on their visits during the summer. That was prime high school recruiting. We're screwed on that. Okay. We're screwed on that to an extent. So I still think we're going to grab probably 5 more guys. Just wait and see by the time signing day comes. But if you wanted like 20, 25 guys, it's probably not happening in this class. Okay. I think Coach Prime realizes that. You can't change that right now. You can't change what's already happened, right? So portal is going to have to be where it is this year, unfortunately. But here's the good news for everybody out there. The portal is going to be absolutely exploding this year with talent, okay? With all of the coaches that are going to be moving with the coaching carousel this offseason, okay? With just what's happening in college football, as you know, things are constantly changing each and every year. You know, if we get a 5-year, if they get rid of the red shirt and 5-year becomes the norm coming up soon, that's going to also change things. The fact is, the portal's going to be full of a lot of talented players. You've got to hit on them, though. That's going to be the key. You got to hit on them. And we're already seeing a lot of potential options. You know, I'm going to be very interested to see if Colorado does pursue a Boo Carter out of Tennessee to come in and return back to Colorado. Now there's rumors of, you know, Charles Lester leaving Florida State, another kid that was a high school kid that we had interest in. Could he be back on the table as potential depth player? Again, potential depth on his part because of what he brings. There's going to be a lot of other guys that are going to be available. We're seeing it already. I mean, today I've seen at least, I think, 10 to 15 people announce that they're going to be entering the portal, and we're not even in portal season yet, Dave. I think they're getting their name out there quicker because they know that National Signing Day is coming up, and they know that they're going to be hot commodities. So there's going to be a lot of that going on in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, it's... You know, I kind of agree with this comment here from Stevie Davey, you know, like with where our class is at right now with 11 commits, I mean, you got no choice but to, you know, play in the portal significantly this year. My expectations for how we play in the portal are, I'm not expecting really any blue chip guys to come here. I feel like a lot of these blue bloods and the more successful programs, they're going to get the top players. But can we play to the portal in the portal the way that Arizona State has, to where they bring in some guys from levels lower that have had significant success and coach them up to have even more success here at the Power 4 level? Yeah, hopefully the coaches can do that this year. But yeah, I hope we can get another 5-6 commits. I did this goofy stream yesterday where I just wanted to see how it would play out if we signed like, you know, 3/4 of the offers that we've sent out for high school of guys who are uncommitted. There was like one 4-star guy on there. Everybody else was like a 3-star guy, and puts you right in at 30th in the country, 4th in the Big 12. You know, I think that you can salvage some of this, but you really are going to have to put a lot of effort into it. Making those guys who are uncommitted, we've already said, you're good enough to play for this program. Convincing them to come here, man. So there is still some to salvage, but I think we've already seen it with, you know, a few of the guys that are on staff that are out there promoting their recruiting trail. You're talking about Gunnar White. Coach Hart, you know, still extending offers. I'm hoping maybe he's more just the recruiting staff moving forward. We'll have to see, but it seems like we're already starting to put a lot more of our recruiting focus towards 27 and 28. What have you made from Gunnar White and Andre Hart's movement over the past week and a half?
I mean, I was appreciative. I somebody in my comments last week was like, "Oh, those coaches better be there practicing this weekend during the bye week." And I'm like, "No, the bye week is used to try and, you know, scramble and get some last minute recruits, which they do every year." Again, I try to remind people of this. Every year, Dave, we have people crashing out over the same thing because the high school recruiting, we always wait until the last second to get commitments and signings. We are not a long-term commitment type of school when it comes to that because of the fact that kids flip all the time, Dave. They flip all the time. So,
but if you make it like family, if they feel like family from early on, I'm saying you're going to have less of a rate of those guys leaving.
It's true.
And hopefully they start to behave a little bit differently when it comes to high school. Sorry. I just had to interject.
I agree. I agree on that 100%. We've talked about that ad nauseum for weeks. Just how they need to treat the recruiting cycle going forward. But again, we can't change anything now. So they're looking for, okay, who are flip candidates, who are guys that are uncommitted out there that we can go after and get some, easy wins for. And we've done it in the past. We have. You remember last year, we got what was it? 4 or 5 commits like a week before signing day, less than a week before signing day, including London Merritt, who flipped from Ohio State a week before signing day.
Yep.
For all those people out there that want to say Colorado is a mess, to get an Ohio State flip on a high 4-star, low 5-star type caliber player, who, by the way, has absolutely balled out this season and put together some absolutely insane tape. If guys are going to flip, they're going to flip. I talked about it. The Gavin Mueller stuff wasn't surprising. He wasn't getting attention at the beginning of his recruiting cycle. Colorado is one of the few teams to offer him and believe in him. They did that. He goes and balls out, and now he's getting attention from these bigger programs with bigger money pockets. And yes, it is money. I'm sorry. I don't care. I got in a fight with somebody on Twitter today that said it was not money. It was purely scheme. Has anybody seen what Miami's done this year with tight ends? I've even saw some Miami fans in the chat comments of the flip being like, not sure why he's coming to us. Like, we already got a 5-star tight end prospect in this class. They've got 9 tight ends on the roster, Dave. 9
what
tight ends.
what I would do for 9 tight ends on the Buffs, man.
They've got an abundance of tight ends, and they're just throwing money at more tight ends. Like, I mean, hey, when you've got unlimited resources, you just do whatever you want with it.
Yeah.
But on top of that, this year they've targeted the tight end 19 times versus Zach Atkins, who's been targeted 15 times this season. It's not that different, okay? I'll tell you why he's going to Miami. 2 things: money, and when I have a lot of money, I also would love to be on the beach with a bunch of women. Like that's you're going to Miami for the notoriety when it comes to that. Okay? Absolutely is. Because to anybody that says, yeah, Miami does get tight ends to the league, sure. But when there's 9 of them you're competing with, there's only so much space on the field, Dave, for the tight end. That is a lot of competition. And I'm telling you, if you go through 1 or 2 years without any tape whatsoever, you are in big trouble. Your career is over before it even began. So he better know what he's doing. I hope he knows what he's doing, because literally he could have come in next year and been the number 1 tight end on Colorado by a mile with his skill set. He's now going in there, and I guarantee starting down at probably 8 or 7 on the depth chart at Miami. So I hope the money was really good.
That's the thing, man, with these higher, ranking 4-star guys, these guys, they field significant offers. Who goes about it a different way and has success? Arizona State. Utah traditionally, they can grab some Utah 4-stars every now and then. So you can, guys, like, there are other schools out there that don't have unlimited money, but they're still able to make it work, man, from a recruiting perspective.
Because it's not about the stars. It's
not about the stars. And that's what I'm saying. Like, it shouldn't take a massive bag to sign a handful of the uncommitted guys that we've offered before early National Signing Day. I think it's, do we care? Do we want to put in the effort to doing that? I mean, these guys are still uncommitted. This is interesting. They're all like 3-star guys. It's not going to take massive bags like somebody like a 4-star tight end and Gavin Mueller might get offered. So we'll see how it all develops, man. But yeah, with Gavin, if you're not going to see the ball here, I guess, if I'm going dark side Dave, or you're not going to see it at Miami, you might as well, like you said, enjoy your life to that extent, man. Playing for the youth. So again, like, it's something that I'm less upset about Gavin for, but really I just again, like, we have 13 commits and we can't sell the program enough to keep all these guys. Let's hope we can keep the 11 or 12 guys that we got right now. We'll have to see. Russ, is this a good time to get into some positive things? You want to talk about Taco Bell, baby?
Absolutely, of course. We'll talk about our wonderful sponsors over at Taco Bell. get your Julian Lewis collectible cup still. They're still available. I just got Taco Bell recently, and they still had the cups at my location. They're sold out of the Buff boxes. We're going to have to give these away at some point. Just have to send them to some of you guys out there if you guys want some of these Buff boxes and weren't able to get one locally. Let me know in the future. We'll have to see what we can do to get you guys some of that going. But we appreciate Taco Bell for the sponsorship all season long, partnership with Buffs News Weekly, David Talks Buffs, and the Buff Blitz. It's been an awesome partnership. Unbelievable that they did this with, smaller creators like us, with such a national brand. It's been amazing to be able to do that. So continue supporting Taco Bell as they continue supporting CU Athletics. Still donating to the scholarship fund, already donated $500,000 to the scholarship fund. Fantastic partnership with them this year. So go out, get yourself some Taco Bell, get yourself a cheap, funded meal in this economy. We all need the cheap funds, cheap lunches, cheap meals. We appreciate Taco Bell for doing that this year. Live Moss, Sco Buffs.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And hopefully, Russ, we can enjoy some Taco Bell as the Buffs are taking on Arizona State. Russell Waters saying, you're right, Dave. Also, how Juju and CU finish the season will affect a large way who wants to come. That's what I'm talking about. And let's get into having some fun and making some money on that over on Kalshi. I thought I had my screen shared, but I didn't. So one moment, Kalshi, baby. All right. You can go DTB, get yourself a nice little $10 bonus once you start trading. And already, Russ, I started throwing a little bit of money on a trade earlier this week with Colorado getting the upset, man. These are wonderful odds. Only being right now 28%. I think Arizona State started out at like 75%, but man, this is a game on the road, dude. So, hey, triple your money with me or bet against me. Hey, over on Kalshi, trade the future, guys. Appreciate them sponsoring the channel as well. And hopefully we can get Russ signed up with them shortly as well. But hey, dude, I don't know, man. I'm just so excited about this game to kind of transition back. We got a bunch of guys that we've offered that are uncommitted. You brought it up. Quentin Gibson, the IMG guys, okay, that we got last year. Okay, it was around this time that they committed. Yes. How about we go on and put on a beautiful show against Arizona State, and maybe we can get, dude, we got one 4-star guy right now committed. Rodney Colton's no longer that guy. It's Carson Crawford.
2 4-stars as of today because Carson Crawford got bumped to a 4-star today.
I forgot about Preston Ashley.
Well, and Preston Ashley too. So we have 3. We have 3 4-stars because Carson Crawford just got bumped to a 4-star. Congratulations to him, by the way. You don't see that happen very often when you're committed to Colorado, getting bumped up a star. That rarely ever happens, it seems.
Yeah. So, hey, maybe we can close in on a few more of those guys. And then, man, it would just be my dream, man. For my birthday coming up, Russ, like, all I want are some 3-star commits, man. All I want are a few. That's all I want. I'm not asking for the world. I'm not asking for a top 20 class. I just want to see this program close in on some guys. But shall we get into some of the keys to the game or players that are going to have to ball out for us to get this big time upset win?
Yep. Let's do it.
Okay. Well, let's start on defense, Russ. Give me a player or two that you really need to see a good, strong performance from in order for us to get this victory.
Yeah. Dave, for me, it's going to start at one place and it's going to be multiple players because it has to be as a unit, not just one player.
Yes.
The offensive line has got to have an impact day compared to what they did against West Virginia. 8 sacks on Julian Lewis there. A lot of people are going to throw that out there with how his QBR was so bad because of the 8 sacks. QBR doesn't necessarily take into account the fact of whether or not the sacks are truthfully on them. It's pretty skewed. You know what I mean? When it comes to that, if you watch that game, if you have eyeballs, Dave, you know that I would not put a majority of those sacks on Julian Lewis. It wasn't like, at times with Shador Sanders where he'd run around and try and make something happen and run backwards and all this stuff. No, I mean, those guys were on top of Julian Lewis instantly. And a lot of them were at times coverage sacks as well. But he did a well enough job to throw the ball away when he needed to, scramble out when he needed to. He made some nice runs during that game as well. But if we can get back to the offensive line that, performed for Caden Salter throughout the beginning of the season, giving him that time back there to the point where he was seeing ghosts and having to run out of the pocket because, he was just thinking that there was pressure when there wasn't. No, we got to get Julian Lewis that time back there, because if we do, Dave, he is going to be absolutely surgical back there from the pocket. And that's going to give Colorado the best chance to win.
Beautifully said, man. Beautifully said. The offensive line, hopefully Jordan Seaton brings it. Hell, let's see what Chauncey Gooden can do, baby. Yo-Yo, does he still have the club on? Do you know? Does he still have the club?
I did not pay attention. We'll see come Saturday.
Hopefully we got Xavier Hill playing as well. But, dude, we are going up against Jordan Tyson. Terrifying against this secondary. But one of the bright spots, I think one of the few guys on defense that has really, I think, improved. Better late than never, man. Ivan Yates. Ivan Yates is definitely a player to watch. I think right now it's up in the air if DJ McKinney's going to play. So Ivan Yates is going to have to be that guy. And there's, college football guys have been noticing his performance in a good way, over the last couple games. So we're going to need him to maybe not shut down Jordan Tyson. I'm not going to expect that, but to at least limit him with Jeff Sims. And hey, Jeff Sims, while he's playing the best ball of his career, he can be an inaccurate passer. So he might be throwing a couple balls towards Ivan Yates' way that he might be able to pick off and intercept, man. I think our secondary will have opportunities to make some plays, and it probably starts with him. Let's see what he can do going up against Jordan Tyson. We can't have him have a revenge game against us like didn't Christian Gonzalez have like a pick six against us like years ago? I'm trying to remember. I don't even know.
It's happened. Also, wasn't there the ex-CU player at Stanford that balled out against us? I think, no name for a couple years ago. It just seems like, one, before Prime, you want to talk about, pain. For the long-time Buffs fans, we always saw guys transferring out at Colorado if you had any skill whatsoever and balling out at other programs. I mean, we didn't have a ton of skilled guys over the last 10 years, Dave. But when we did, they were always leaving the program and balling out elsewhere. Whether that was, Christian Gonzalez, whether that was obviously Jordan Tyson, and we can go down the list before Prime even, what would happen. It's just been something that we as Buff fans have always been used to. Ex-Buffs coming back to haunt this team.
But yeah, give me a guy on defense or a couple guys on defense that you feel like need to step up, that you want to see step up.
Yeah, the big one for me is going to be probably Jeremiah Brown. He's in the final, potentially games of his career, I believe. I don't remember if he has eligibility. Sean Myers is for sure in the end of his career. He has no eligibility left. So if he gets some playing time, I'm very interested to see on what kind of performance he brings in these last couple games. Those kind of guys, I think, are going to have a little bit of extra juice. Even though you're not necessarily playing for anything, you're playing in the final football games potentially of your entire career. So what is that going to look like? What is that going to look like on the field? So those linebackers are really going to be important there. And then, I want to continue to see London Merritt absolutely going ham in this game, finish off his freshman year really strong, show that again, because I already see it in the chat that we can't develop players, except the funny part is, Dave, we only develop our young players. It's the players that are already established that we can't seem to all of a sudden make better than they were. But London Merritt, Alex McPherson, you go down the list, there are young guys that are absolutely performing on this team, both freshman and sophomore classes. So when it comes to working with our young players, This team actually proves that they can develop and make those players better. You see it every single year. Heck, Dave, let's go back to Jackson State. Think of the players who stayed with Prime from Jackson State all the way through and ended up doing stuff. Cam Silman Craig is one of those. Did he not get developed? I just hate that people don't give credit at all for that. They just think, oh, no, those players are just really good and the team didn't do anything to help them get better. Like, it's always an excuse when it comes to that. So I want to see how Ludden Merritt finishes out his senior year here at Colorado, or his freshman year at Colorado, excuse me. We're not even close to that. But can come out and really, really ball. That's going to be who I'm looking at.
Yeah, man. I think, man, with going back to the offense a little bit, I love what Richie Mack is saying here. Ball control offense, go for it on fourth down if needed. The only thing that I'll caveat by saying, don't go for it on fourth down on your own 30. Please, just don't do it this year this game if it's like a one possession game at the time. But I think Omarian's going to get his, right? Like, we know he'll come up with some big catches. Hopefully he'll have some nice big touchdowns on Saturday. But I think if this player has a nice game, I think we're going to be in position to have a chance to win this game in the fourth quarter. That's Joseph Williams, man. I think that we're just scratching the surface with him for his ability to carve up the middle of the field, obviously with Julian Lewis behind center, because he can hit those throws, those quick developing routes in the short game over the middle, or posts or crossers that go over the middle of the field, man. It's if he has a good game and we're not getting penalties from our wide receivers for those dumb, like false starts, illegal formation, holding calls, things like that. And we get a good game from Joseph Williams, man, I like that. We're going to need our best players to show up on offense, because I think we're going to have to put up points, man. We're definitely going to have to put up 30 plus points, I feel like, to win this game.
Look at the West Virginia Arizona State game last week, Dave. That's what it's going to have to be like. Both teams scoring in the 30s. Going to be a close game. It's going to be who makes the mistakes, who makes the plays that aren't going to have happen. That's going to be really important. And then, Dave, take advantage of any stop that you get, any turnover that you get. Okay. We had plenty of turnovers against West Virginia last week. That definitely helped us stay in that game at times.
Mm-hmm.
So I did like to see that, by the way. I mean, after what the defense did for 2 weeks, Colorado's defense, getting some play against West Virginia. I think they can do that again against Arizona State if they really, really, play their best. But like that person said, this is Colorado's bowl game. These last 2 games are Colorado's playoffs / bowl game. And the young guys are going to be treating it like that most of all. The young guys are, I think, really, really locked in to knowing that this is about the future and what's going to happen then. And I like to see that they're taking control of this team now.
Me too, man. The vibes much better. And I think this could be the case. It proves that, hey, if you got guys who all come together, less me ball, more team ball, the sum is greater than the individual parts, man. And I think that we can show it, man, against Arizona State and against Kansas State. I still believe we can win that Kansas State game, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm still going to predict it as a win, man. So, you want a team that comes together. Hopefully they'll play and continue to build on, I think, what how they played like against West Virginia, man. Just a great effort, not a perfect effort, right? Yep. There's still things they got to clean up. Let's see if they've made those adjustments over the bye week. But if they lock in and give a great effort, they're gonna have the opportunity to win this game. And Coach Prime, man, just manage the fourth quarter good, please. It could come down to that. I mean, when he wasted that timeout at the end of the game, I mean, that pretty much sealed any other opportunity that we could have had to march down and tie the game. So we need him to be on his best game management like he was against Iowa State, man. We need that from him against Kenny Dillingham's, who rarely makes mistakes like that. So,
yep.
Russ, man, any last thoughts? 3 and whatever we are right now, 3-7, but I don't know, man. I'm feeling like I'm about as in a good mood going into this game as you could be.
Yeah, I mean, if we were going to Arizona State, Dave, I'd probably say it's a 2-score win for Arizona State. The fact that it's in Colorado, gonna add that in. We besides one game, we've held every single home game very close, even when we didn't deserve to be in those games and close. Okay. To all those people, because everybody wants to say that, oh, you're not good at home because you haven't won any games at home. It's like, yeah, but home is the only place that we seem to like at least stay in those games a lot better. It plays a small, minuscule factor when it comes to games at home. And so that between the bye week this time again, I'm hoping we don't have a repeat of the bye week blowout, but the fact that Julian Lewis stuck around, worked with the guys, they were all here working. Julian Lewis has spent the entire bye week prepping for this game, watching Arizona State video, watching what's going on. And he is a cerebral quarterback, Dave. He is an absolute cerebral quarterback who understands the game. That's the biggest difference between him and Salter, is how they dissect the game. So I think that's going to be true. And hey, I do think that Arizona State's going to control the clock. But when you have a quarterback with an arm who can sling the ball downfield, you've got a chance even when that happens. You know what I mean, Dave? Like, if we had Caden Salter and we needed to run to be able to set up the pass and be able to do things, yeah, when they control the clock, we're screwed. We're done. That's not a good recipe for success. But Juju can sling it and score at a moment's notice. We've seen that in 2 straight weeks, Dave, with how he's able to throw the ball down the field. Yeah. So I think that that's going to make a big difference. I think that's going to keep us in the game. The question is, does that get us the victory? I don't know yet. We'll have to see come Saturday.
Well, let's get into our predictions then, because, I said before the West Virginia game, I'm not picking this team to win any more games for the rest of the year until they win. But, man, I'm switching that up. Baby.
Dave's back, guys.
Julian Lewis legacy game. I don't have the Ralphie horns on me right now. Julian Lewis legacy game. Let's go. We win by like a stupid score, 45-42, baby. No defense at all. That's the kind of game I want to see, baby. 80+ points scored, and we rush the field.
Yes, we definitely rush the field. We win this game. Dave, I'm going similar. I'm going 42-38 Colorado. Hopium at its core. I think it's going to be extremely high scoring. I'm just going to hope that we're going to air it out, baby, with Julian Lewis. Julian Air Juju Lewis this Saturday in Boulder, his first home field start. The fans are going to be excited. I mean, I'm hearing people are going to this game. They're excited. I mean, how many times do you hear in a 3-7 year, a 3-8 year, that fans are excited to go see a team like that play? It's not because of Julian Lewis.
Count, baby.
That's right. The hopium is here. Hopium is here. I am off my meds after the game, and it's great. Join me, everybody. Come on. Join the hopium.
Right. Yeah, we're breaking the internet right now. We got the Buffs winning, baby. People are in shambles about it. And, let's see some Mile High Magic, man. Let's see some, reverse Buffs luck. Let's, Buff luck, I'm pumped, man. Julian Lewis, if we beat Arizona State, screw it, man. We're back to going undefeated in 2026. We're going to be talking about it all off season long. Oh, yeah. And let's end with this, dude. Shedeur gets his start.
I'm actually excited to watch a Browns game.
Dude, me too, man. My birthday's on Sunday. Broncos don't play, so maybe Shedeur can get a win, for my birthday. But man, I'm excited to see what he can do, man. You got any predictions or thoughts on that?
I mean, the fact that he's finally getting some first team reps this week, actually gets to work, gets to, go through the whole week knowing that he's the starter. I'm glad they didn't drag their feet on this. I felt like they were going to do that for a little bit, where I was going to be like, well, maybe Gabriel plays, maybe Shedeur's the starter. I don't know. The fact that they just came out and said, yeah, he's the starter, he's going to figure this out. No matter what the coaching staff wants to do, Shedeur is in control of his own destiny now. How much work did he put in this week? How much game film did he watch? How much, was he doing with the reps that he had? I'm excited to see what he does play in Vegas. Maybe Dave, a little bit of a revenge game on both sides. He gets to make the Browns look like idiots, and he gets to make our fantastic Raiders that we love so dearly look like absolute idiots for not taking him. Like everything's playing up to that. I can't wait to watch that game. And just absolutely seethe. I hope he just absolutely throws balls out. If he balls out, Dave, we're about to break the internet. We are about to break the internet if Shedeur balls out.
Football gods, we have waited for so long for Shedeur to have his opportunity, man. Let's see what he can do with it, dude. Dylan Gabriel has complete 25% of his deep balls beyond 20. He's completing like 42% of his balls between 10 and 19. Bad balls. I want good balls from Shedeur Sanders. You know, he can make those throws. Let's see what, I don't believe that Kevin Stefanski is sabotaging the game plan this week. That's dumbass stuff. These guys coach for their job every single week in the NFL. Let's see what he can do. Dave,
he had to work under Pat Shurmur. He knows what it looks like working under a crappy coach and making your own calls.
Dude,
you don't think Shedeur is going to be audibling a lot on Sunday? You don't think he's watching the most game tape he's probably ever watched in his life? I'm telling you, Shedeur is going to be prepared for this game, and he's going to look good. He is going to look so good, Dave. I can't wait. I can't wait to see what he does on Sunday.
Dude, only good balls. Come on. Max Crosby could completely ruin this game for the Browns, right? But I'm gonna say it. Shedeur throws, I don't know, like a couple touchdowns and like 250 yards. That's what I'm gonna say. And he's gonna feel great. But yeah, give us Manscaped, dude. I've been talking about big balls. Let's go, baby.
I know. We're the perfect show for a Manscaped sponsorship next season. Let's go.
Yeah, come on. We got to be working hard this offseason, harder than what our recruiting staff has been doing this past offseason, Russ. But hey, maybe we do a recruiting show here, talk about some of the JUCO guys after the season concludes. I think that's a pretty good idea you got there, Northside. But as we wrap things up, man, what you got going on the channel rest of the week?
Normal stuff. We'll probably do Buff Lunch on Friday to talk Arizona State, any more developing news that occurs in the next couple of days. And then we'll be back on Monday talking about that Arizona State game, either crashing out or victory Monday. We'll see what happens. And then, Dave, we got one more week of this. We got one more week of the season after this. So next Wednesday, are you still good for this earlier time next Wednesday as well?
I should be.
Okay. So we'll be back at this time, 5 o'clock Mountain, 6 o'clock Central, 7 o'clock Eastern next week on Wednesday, heading into that Thanksgiving weekend and the final Buffs game in Manhattan, Kansas. So yeah, make sure you guys join us next Wednesday. I'm super excited to get that. And I'm sad that the season's already over. I'm sad the season's already over. And then we've got, to wait 10 months to get to see what this team is going to do. But we get an exciting 10 months, Dave, as this team is going to have a lot of change this offseason, a lot of change.
Yeah, man. Like, whether these players are amazing or they suck, I'm going to enjoy glazing them the entire offseason.
That's what we do. That's what we do all offseason. It's going to
be fun, man. Yeah, like, it's about to be glaze season, man.
It's the ultimate hopium is we just get a hope all offseason, and every move we get to say is, the move that's going to take us to that next level. And we'll see if that's actually the case. Because guess what? We're fans. That's what we do. That's what we do, okay? That's what this whole show is about.
Well said, man. So, guys, I'll be back later on. We'll talk Shedeur. We'll talk some more high school JUCO recruiting. So if you like that, tune in for it. If you think that's weird, don't. And, we'll be back again soon. Go Buffs.
Go Buffs.
All right.